Hello everyone, I'm Chef Joe. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make seafood paella. Paella is a Spanish dish originating in Valencia region of Spain. Although the world considers paella the national dish of Spain, Spaniards consider it the regional dish of Valencia, as each region has its own dishes for which they are known for. So let's get ready to rock the paella pan. For this recipe, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 cloves of finely chopped garlic. I have a half a red bell pepper finely chopped and a half a green bell pepper finely chopped. 1 large tomato finely chopped. I have 14 ounces of canned San Marzano tomatoes. I like to use the San Marzano tomatoes because they taste really, really good. Then I have 1 small onion chopped. I have 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I have 1.5 cups of paella or bomba rice, which is right here. And this is Spanish rice that comes from Spain. They're little tiny pearls. They're little tiny granules. They're like round. They're different than like long grain rice of what we're used to. And the thing about this rice is it absorbs so much liquid. It'll absorb like 3 times more liquid than your regular rice. So you need to, follow the recipe on this. I have 3 cups of seafood stock, about a teaspoon of Spanish saffron. I have some Spanish smoked paprika. Now I use the smoked one to kind of simulate the smoky effect that typically they make the paella outside in the fire pit, so you get the flavor from the smoke and all that. We're going to do this in the oven. I have a barrel roaster outside that I normally fit my small paella pan on, and it really works good if I want to get the smoky flavor. I have about half a pound of cod, probably a half a pound of shrimp, 1 pound of fresh mussels, and 1 pound of nice fresh clams, both washed and scrubbed and everything. They're all nice and clean. I have some frozen peas, about 1 cup frozen peas thawed. I have some lemon wedges for garnishing the top of the paella, a cup of parsley. And here's the thing. Normally, I would use this dried Spanish chorizo in this dish, but since it's Lent and I can't really have that, my family can't really have that right now, I'm using soy chorizo. Now a lot of you guys are going to say, hey, you can't do that because it's not authentic. Well, you know what? It's my paella and I'm going to make it. So anyways, we're going to start rocking this paella pan right now. Okay. So we're going to make the sofrito. Now sofrito basically is a tomato sauce that you make. It's a very flavorful tomato sauce that you kind of have to build the flavors into it. Let me turn on the hood fan real quick so it doesn't get too smoky. So I'm going to heat up the olive oil in the pan. I want to add the onions, saute the onions, the peppers, let me turn it down a little bit here. I'm going to saute that up a little bit. Now we can add the garlic. Now the whole idea behind the paella is building flavors. Build layers and layers of flavors. Now the onions and the peppers are starting to caramelize a little bit. You can see it getting toasty. Now I'm going to add the tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. Now I put both fresh tomatoes and the canned tomatoes together because I want the fresh tomatoes to kind of give that little bit of brightness that the canned tomatoes don't really give you. While the sofrito is cooking, sauteing, I'm going to put the seafood stock in a pot. And turn it on, get it warm. And I'm going to add the saffron to it. Now saffron comes from the tiny part of the flower, the inside of the flower, the little stem. And they have to hand pull these out. That's why they're so expensive. But it adds a lot of flavor to your paella. Paella is not a paella without saffron. Now you'll notice a real yellow, orangish yellow color coming from it. And it's real fragrant. And this is what I use for my seafood base. I don't have time to saute the shellfish up and all the other stuff that goes into making seafood base. You know, I have 2 kids, 2 dogs, a wife, and 2 Harley-Davidson motorcycles all wanting my attention at the same time. So I use bases a lot, and this is the one I use for my seafood base. Stir this around one more time. Now I'm going to add the canned tomatoes to this. As you can see, when I chopped them up a little bit rough because I still want those tomatoes in there. Now the tomatoes, this right here, we're going to cook down to like a marmalade consistency. We want it to be like real thick, like jam. And that's the key. That's the key, is to toast up these tomatoes. Make that sofrito. Now you'll notice a difference. See, it looks like a little watery right there. You can see the bubbles. When it gets done, you'll see the difference. While that's cooking, I'm also going to add my soy chorizo. Chop that up in there. That adds another layer of flavor. Now with the soy chorizo, I really don't have to worry about cooking it out or anything because it's already basically cooked. You can smell the flavors or smell the aromas already. It smells awesome. Now I think I'm going to toss in my smoked paprika. Now you can see the liquid starting to evaporate out of the tomatoes. It's getting thicker and thicker. I like using this flat little wooden spoon here because I can actually scrape the bottom off of the pan. It works really good. That's looking pretty good right there. Now we're just about ready to add the rice. Now this rice, it's a bomba rice. paella rice. You can see how round they are, like little tiny pearls. And the thing about this rice is they suck up like 3 times the amount of liquid than your regular long grain rice or basmati rice. This really sucks up the liquid. You can use a Borio if you want to, but this is the stuff this is what I use right here. This paella rice or bomba rice. Let me give it one final stir. See, it's toasting now. It's nice and toasted. It's thick like jam, like marmalade, real thick. You got a lot of that liquid out of there. That's fine. That's all flavor right there. So now we're going to stir in our rice, and we're going to coat it. We're going to coat it with this sofrito. And now the rice is all nicely coated. Now look how thick that is. Now we can slowly start to add our seafood stock with the saffron. So here's how I'm going to do it, like this. Just stir it in. It's kind of like making risotto, a little different kind of rice. Let's pour the rest of it. Okay, now that the liquid or the seafood stock is already incorporated into it, now I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Now you don't want to stir it anymore from this point on. What we're going to do, I'm going to cover it and I'm going to put it in the oven. A lot of people say don't cover it. Some people cover it, some people don't. I like to cover mine because in the end I like to steam my fish in there. So I'm going to turn it off and I'll be back in about 20 minutes and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, now that the rice is almost done, we can nestle some of the seafoods in here. I'm going to put some of these around. Put the fish in it. Oh, I'll put some shrimp around, make it look nice. I'll do one more over here. Some clams. Actually, I prefer the clams to the mussels. I love clams. And these are nice big fat clams, little neck clams. Just kind of stick them in there. When they pop open, should be ready. Here we go. Oh, and let's not forget our peas. You got to put our peas on there. Sprinkle your peas. I'm going to cover it right back up, put it back in the oven, probably about another 10-15 minutes. Now, here's our paella. The paella is ready, and you can tell our shellfish is opened. Any shellfish that's not open, get rid of it right away. All the fish is cooked, looking good. Let me check the bottom. Oh yeah, that rice looks good right there. Okay, so now what you want to do is take some lemons and just kind of sprinkle some lemons around here. Here I have some nice Meyer lemons. That adds to the color. What you do is when people plate it up, because this whole thing is served family style. You take this to the table, everybody can serve their own and get what they want. They take a lemon, squeeze it on top of their plate, and they rock and roll. You have it. So, little parsley for a little extra color. There you go. Seafood paella. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video. Please remember to hit the bell, click the subscribe button, and visit my website at www.chefjoeskitchen.org for more recipes and videos. Remember, food tastes best when it's simple and fresh. See you next time.